With the exception of a train ride across the desert Southwest, in 1976, when I was 11 and my sister was 10, our dad and his best friend rode their bicycles from Redlands, California to Marblehead, Massachusetts. My dad has always been athletic. In his 20s, he played softball. In his 30s, he played basketball. In his 40s, he ran marathons. And in his late 50s, when he retired, he continued biking and started walking every day 2 to 3 miles, something he still does today at 81. My sister has always been like our dad. In middle school, she lettered in 3 sports, and in high school, she ran track, cross country, and played basketball. And in her senior year, she appeared on the front page of our local newspaper sports section in an article about her athletic achievements. Me, I've always been like our mom, a delicate English rose who prefers to be kept out of direct sunlight. I'd rather glisten than sweat. My pursuits have always been indoors. In middle school, I wrote a long form poem. A line of the poem appeared at the top of each page of the yearbook. In high school, I continued to be on the yearbook and joined the speech and debate teams. In college, my sister ran track and I rode my bicycle across campus between classes. In my late 20s, I finally joined a gym, an indoor gym, in the hopes of meeting a stockbroker or a lawyer during one of my early morning workouts. I didn't, and so I moved from the west side to the South Bay and started walking along the Strand, which runs along the water, and I preferred to walk late in the day. My hope was that I would meet a man, we would lock eyes, he'd ask me out for cocktails, we'd have a drink, get married, and that would be our meet cute story. I kept walking. I never met the man. I decided to move to Thousand Oaks, where my sister and her family lived. In the meantime, my sister had started running half marathons. She and her friends are going to go do the half marathon in Virginia Beach, and at LAX they met a man named Dave. He was going to Virginia Beach as well, and they kept running into him throughout the weekend. When they were on the same plane back to Los Angeles, my sister decided to see if Dave could be my meet cute. My sister is married. She asked Dave, "Are you single?" "I am." "Do you have a girlfriend?" "I don't." "Would you like to meet my sister who spends way too much time at the office?" "I would." She came back to LA, told me about Dave, and after some internet sleuthing, I was able to find his work number on the internet. My sister had lost it. I called, left a message. After hours, he called me back, we went on a date, and I thought I finally had my meet cute. A few months after we started dating, Dave asked me if I would like to go with him to a party put on by the Santa Clarita Runners Club. I went with him, and all the runners were athletic and energetic, enthusiastic, and teased Dave about the great views that he had as one of the slower runners. Wanting to make sure that my backside, which spent far too much time in my office chair, looked as good as the backsides that Dave was seeing on his runs, I decided it was time for me to be like my dad and start walking. And the next time Dave and his friends did a 5K, I would sign up too. In October, I found myself standing in the parking lot at Magic Mountain with a bib number in my hand. Dave's friend Brian said, "Elizabeth, are you doing this race?" "Rumor has it," I said as I pinned on the bib and made my way to the start line. About an hour later, when I crossed the finish line, Brian high-fived me and Dave gave me a hug and a pat on the rear end. Wanting to spend more time together as a couple, I decided to join Dave in training for a half marathon. He had joined the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's Team in Training program and was training for the half marathon at Virginia Beach and raising money for the cause. I joined the team, and that September, we went to Virginia Beach to participate in the half marathon. Now, for those of you that are unfamiliar with a half marathon is 13.1 miles. The average pace for a half marathon is between 15 and 20 minutes per mile. So that means the average person would finish a race in about 4 hours and 15 minutes. I finished the race in 3 hours and 15 minutes. Not bad for my first race. Dave and I decided to join Team in Training the next season, but unfortunately, we broke up a few months before the event. Doing the race that year was really hard, but knowing I had raised money for our honored teammate Audrey, who was a 2-time blood cancer survivor, made getting across the finish line a little bit easier. And breaking up was also good for my time. I finished the race 5 minutes faster than I had the year before. Even though Dave and I had broken up, I wasn't breaking up with Team in Training and was asked to be a mentor the next season. The participants that season were doing the LA Marathon, 26.2 miles. As a mentor, I would have to help them raise money, and a few Saturdays before the race, I would have to walk 20 miles with them. If me, the delicate English rose, was going to spend that much time exposed to direct sunlight, I'd better get a medal. I signed up for the LA Marathon and came across the finish line with my mentees. By my mid-40s, I had completed 3 marathons, 2 in Los Angeles and 1 in San Diego. And at the LA Marathon, which was actually 1 more marathon than my dad, so I had the family record. I called him from the finish line. At the LA Marathon victory party, I found out there was a chapter of Team in Training right here in Ventura County. And so to get away from memories of Dave, I joined the Ventura County chapter and was warmly greeted by Ginger, Lois, Phyllis, Sue Ellen, and Jennifer. We spent many hours together helping people raise money for the cause by coordinating activities like gift wrapping at the Oaks Mall. We planned out courses for them to do and spent many hours bonding as we trained for races in New York, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Baltimore, etc. And then about 35 years after my dad had ridden his bicycle from from Redlands to Marblehead, Massachusetts, I decided to ride my bicycle 35 miles around Lake Tahoe as part of Team in Training's America's Most Beautiful Bike Ride. And then, in order to start watering my English rose on a more regular basis, I decided to join Team in Training's triathlon program. Triathlon combining all 3, half marathon, cycle, and swimming. But actually it was only a 10K, so yay, that's better. And I met great people like Vince, Tim, Tiffany, Scott, and the Lava Mamas as we trained for races in Washington, D.C. and Hawaii. And when I turned 50, I too had my own front page moment when a picture of me in a swimsuit appeared on the front page of the Ventura County Star's lifestyle section in an article about what the baby boomers were doing to celebrate their 50th birthdays. The Ventura County chapter of Team in Training is no longer active, but Ginger, Lois, Phyllis, and I continue to train together every Saturday. Phyllis is great about finding events for us to do. Ginger always gets us up the hills, and Lois always plans the courses for us to go on. Me, I help in the tiebreaker of where to go to breakfast. My last Team in Training event was the weekend before the world was shut down by the pandemic. I did a half marathon as part of the LA Marathon, raising money for our honored teammate Audrey, who had recently died of blood not brain cancer. Growing up, my dad and my sister may have been the athletes in our family, but through my participation in marathons, half marathons, triathlons, and cycling events, I too now am one of the athletes in our family. And one Saturday morning, as Ginger, Phyllis, Lois, and I walk together, we will solve all the problems of the world. Thank you.